Hey, a quick little story about this 2021 KTM 890 Adventure R. So people are talking about how you have fuses 5 and 6 blowing on a ride, and it's pretty disturbing because when those fuses blow, your display goes out. And at the time, it was 110 degrees outside. Display was out. I couldn't see how fast I was driving. I couldn't see my water temperatures and those kind of things. Anyway, I didn't know whether my fan was coming on or off, right? Anyway, I was very concerned about it. I limped my way home, and sure enough, the fan was coming on, the bike was fine, but I could not see my instruments. And turned out my headlight wasn't working, my horn wasn't working, and my display wasn't working. And I came in here and looked at the fuses, and sure enough, fuses 5 and 6 were both blown. So went on the internet, and there were a lot of other people reporting the exact same issue, but nobody was really coming up with the root cause. And since I had found the root cause, I thought I'd go in and report it. But anyway, fuses 5 and 6, if you look here, 5 is the horn, the combination instrument, which is the HMI, the brake light, and the turn signal relay. And then 6 is high beam position, tail license plate light, and whatnot. So anyway, when those are both going out, it's kind of like, well, those are on opposite ends of the bike. Didn't quite understand why those two would be related to some kind of a short. So anyway, started at the back end of the bike and worked my way forward. I had 2 dangling broken turn signals, and I looked at those wires, and they're all nice and clean. They're not shorting to each other, so I didn't think that was the issue. Started disassembling things and playing with things. Worked my way up to the front of the bike. Started looking at this steering head column, thinking that maybe I had a wiring problem there. Didn't really see anything that really jumped out at me. The next thing I did was I went in and I pulled those fuses. I used an ohm meter and hooked up my ground, one side to ground and the other side to my meter. And then I was able to go in and look at these fuses, and was able to touch one side of it is power, and the other side of it goes to your light circuits and your horn circuits and whatnot. So anyway, putting it here, you're able to go in and look to see what the resistance is to ground. And with this, I was able to go in and start wiggling wires around and find out as I was wiggling a wire, what would actually cause me to have some resistance between this point on the fuse box and the point at which it's actually shorting. And anyway, started playing around with the moving things around on this device. Started moving the high beam, low beam. Started playing around with the horn switch, and I would play around with that, and I would have quite a bit of changes here. So I knew there was something going on inside this deal. And anyway, pulled it apart, and sure enough, the wire that goes down to the high beam, low beam comes through here, and it goes across this spring. And it's just a matter of time before that spring, as you're honking the horn and doing your thing, it was pinched. It essentially came in and cut through that wire. So you can see where it was shorted right here. And I think that's the root cause of my issue. It's actually shorted on both sides. So it's really just a matter of tucking that thing away and getting it away from the pinch points. There's a bracket that goes in there and holds all this together. And anyway, it's just a combination of nonsense that you can see how it could pinch something inside this assembly. No reason to replace anything. It's just a matter of getting rid of the pinch point, put a little bit of tape on it, and tuck it away someplace where it doesn't happen again. And I think that'll solve the problem. So anyway, I'm sure other people are having this exact same issue. I'm sure they're sending their bikes to the dealership and they're replacing harnesses and who knows what, but it's a pretty simple fix. Probably takes 30 minutes if you open it up, and if you have the exact same issue I had, I think you can solve it as a do-it-yourself project. And anyway, I hope that works out well for you.